Hello, myself Dr. P.K. Verma. All students of biology and the teachers of biology are most welcome in this session. In molecular biology, in the previous sessions, I have discussed a structure of DNA, its replication, the concept of gene and the operon, as well as the mechanism of transcription, that is the synthesis of RNA. Because there are many types of RNA, all of them together form the world of RNA. You all know that the chemical structure of RNA and DNA basically are same, that is made of nucleotides, but they have some basic differences. RNA differs from DNA by having presence of normal ribose sugar C5H10O5 instead of deoxyribose C5H10O5. Accordingly, these are named as ribonucleic acid and deoxyribonucleic acid. RNA also differs by presence of uracil in place of thymine. Thymine is very rarely found in the RNA molecule and uracil is common in it. The RNA is also single-stranded structure because RNA is synthesized on the only one strand of DNA, that is the 3' terminal containing the promoter site, and the opposite structure 5' to 3' terminal RNA is synthesized. Some RNA can form secondary and tertiary structures by random pairing of the complementary segments, forming double-stranded segments and hairpin loops. In prokaryotes, the genes are usually polycistronic and they do not need any post-transcription change, and therefore when messenger RNA is synthesized, before the synthesis is terminated, translation can begin. In eukaryotes, a post-transcription modification occurs always, that is a heterogeneous nuclear RNA or a pre-messenger RNA forms the messenger RNA by certain specific modifications. The most common change is called splicing of RNA. It takes place in the nucleolar region. Now, what is splicing? Most eukaryotes have split genes because these genes form RNA in which in between the coding segments called exons meaningful segments called exons, some non-coding or meaningless segments, introns are interspersed. RNA splicing is a form of RNA processing in which a newly made precursor messenger RNA, pre-mRNA, is transformed into mature messenger RNA by removal of the introns. During splicing, the non-coding region introns are removed and the coding region exons are joined together to form the functional messenger RNA. Splicing takes place within nucleus during synthesis or immediately after synthesis of RNA. In many eukaryotic RNA introns, splicing is carried out in a series of reactions which are catalyzed by ribozymes and the spliceosomes. The spliceosome is a complex, small nuclear ribonucleoproteins. For those eukaryotic genes that contain introns, splicing is usually required in order to create a messenger RNA molecule that can be translated into protein. Now there are some introns that are cut away by themselves, so these are called self-splicing introns. They belong to class 1 introns. They may need a ribozyme capable of catalyzing their own excision from their parent RNA molecule. This is the class 1 intron. In between the 3 exons, there are 2 introns. These introns are removed and the remaining 3 parts, exon 1, exon 2 and exon 3, become reattached together and form the messenger RNA. In class 2 intron, a loop-like structure called lariat is formed and this lariat is removed and then the exons become attached together. Sometimes for removal of these introns, a spliceosome is needed. What is the spliceosome? In the nucleus there are many small nuclear RNA made of polyuracil. They may contain 100 to 300 nucleotides. Now according to their molecular weights, these are named as U1, U2, U4, U5 and U6. They combine with certain proteins. Each protein contains about 100 amino acids and form the small nuclear ribonucleoproteins. So each one of the 5 small nuclear RNAs can form a small nuclear RNA protein. And these proteins form the spliceosome. Now this spliceosome acts on pro-messenger RNA and then a splicing of introns and attachment of exons take place. Now, there are 3 functional RNAs. The first one is ribosomal RNA. Ribosomes are found in all prokaryotes and eukaryotes. These are ribonucleoprotein particles made of ribosomal RNA and proteins. The ribosomal RNA is most abundant in cells and represent about 80% of total RNA. In prokaryotes, there are three types of ribosomal RNA. In the smaller subunit 30S, 16S rRNA is present, whereas in the larger subunit 50S, two molecules of ribosomal RNA, 23S and 5.0S are present. In them, a single chain of larger RNA, 40S, is synthesized and released into protoplasm. It is acted by enzyme endonuclease, breaks into three parts and form the 23S, 16S and 5.0S ribosomal RNA. So a common gene synthesizes all these three ribosomal RNAs. In eukaryotes, however, four types of ribosomal RNA are found. The smaller subunit 40S of ribosome contains 18S rRNA, whereas the larger subunit 60S contains three molecules 28S, 5.8S and 5.0S ribosomal RNA. In eukaryotes, a larger proRNA 45S is formed. Inside the nucleolus, the ribosomal RNA gene is present. After synthesis, these are processed and break to form 28S, 18S and 5.8S rRNA. 5.0S rRNA is formed elsewhere in a non-nucleolar gene. That is a gene present outside nucleolus. अब all rRNA are synthesized as straight chains, but they contain complementary sequence of nucleotides here and there, forming hairpin loops at one or more positions. Now see this diagram. There is a single chain beginning from 5 dash, that is the 5 dash is here, 5 prime is here and 3 prime is here. The sequence in one the part is UACC, GU, AG, GA, UUG, but in another part the sequence is inverse CAA, UCC, UA, CGG, UA. When they become folded over one another, they become complementary, form the hydrogen bond, and therefore a hairpin loop-like structure. Such a structure is formed. This is the hairpin loop formation. Now you can compare composition of the prokaryotic and eukaryotic ribosomes. In the small subunit of prokaryote, 30S subunit, one molecules of ribosomal RNA 16S and 21 protein molecules are there. But in the larger subunit 50S, 2 molecules of ribosomal RNA, 23S and 5.6S rRNA is present along with 34 proteins. In the eukaryotes, a small subunit is 40S. It contains 18S ribosomal RNA and 33 protein molecules. The larger subunit 60S contains 3 molecules of ribosomal RNA, 28S, 5.8S and 5.0S, along with 50 molecules of protein. Thus, in the prokaryotes, ribosomes contain 3 molecules of ribosomal RNA and 55 molecules of protein. In the eukaryotes, there are 4 molecules of ribosomal RNA and 83 molecules of protein. Now, the second type of RNA is transfer RNA. Hawley discovered this transfer RNA that carries amino acids from cytoplasm to the ribosome at the time of translation. They exceptionally contain inositol in place of ribose sugar at phase, and also derivatives of uracil or the base analog along with a molecule of thymine. Transfer RNA is the only RNA that contains a molecule of thymine. Now there are a total 76 to 90 bases and the molecular weight is 25 to 30 kilodalton. It forms a tertiary structure with a complex morphology, but the simplified model presented by Hawley is called clover leaf model because it tallies with the trifoliate compound leaf of clove. The 2 terminals of RNA come close to each other, become paired and form a stem or pedicel, but the 3' terminal is longer for 3 bases. CCA, these are the 3 extra bases that are unpaired, and the adenine serves to accept amino acid to its sugar molecule, forming amino acyl transfer RNA. So this CCA terminal is called amino acid acceptor site or simply acceptor site. There are 3 important places where the bases do not become paired and form loops. These are numbered as loop 1, loop 2 and loop 3. These loops have definite composition and definite biological function. However, in between the loop 2 and 3, there is a variable loop formed due to extra 14 bases in some transfer RNA. But this variable loop may be shorter or may be absent. It has no biological function. Now this is the clover leaf model of transfer RNA. You see the 3' terminal has these 3 extra bases and amino acid is attached here. So it is called amino acid attachment site or the acceptor site. Now loop 1 is present here. It has dihydrouridine, so it is called DHU loop. Loop 2 is here. It is called anticodon loop. 3 bases that has been dark painted here are complementary to the codon, and therefore these are named as anticodon. The third loop is T-Cy-C loop, that is, it contains thymine, pseudouridine and cytosine. In between these two loops, loop 2 and 3, this extra arm or the variable loop is present. Now see the three-dimensional structure. The amino acid becomes attached at the 3' terminal. So it is the amino acid acceptor site or the loading site. Now the first loop is DHU loop, shown here. Second one is anticodon. This is the variable loop that falls between loop 2 and 3. And where is the loop 3? This loop 3 is T-Cy-C in this region. In between 3' terminal and anticodon, there is about 70 angstrom distance. Now, what are the function of these 3 loops? The first loop, DHU loop, contains dihydrouridine. It has 4 to 6 unpaired bases, and the enzyme aminoacyl transfer RNA synthetase becomes attached to it. It is a very complex enzyme that can read anticodon and attach a specific amino acid at the amino acid loading site. So it is suggested that it has as many as 20 molecular variations, that is the isoenzymes of aminoacyl transfer RNA synthetase. The second loop has 5 unpaired bases. 3 bases form the complementary sequence to the codon on messenger RNA, and therefore it is called anticodon. The anticodon should not be called NODOC, NODOC, that is the inverse of the CODON, because the anticodons are not inverse sequence of the codon. These are complementary to the codon. Now the third loop is pseudouridine loop, T-Cy-C loop. It also has 4 to 5 unpaired bases and the exceptional molecule of thymine and pseudouracil. It helps in binding to the ribosome, especially the 5.0S rRNA present in larger subunit of prokaryotes and eukaryotes both. The third type of RNA is messenger RNA. These are formed on the structural gene. Many of the messenger RNAs are regularly synthesized to maintain the normal activity of cell, such as cell respiration, protein synthesis, RNA synthesis, etc. So these are housekeeping genes. But in different tissues and organs, some genes become on or off depending on the physiological conditions. Now the mRNA has a methylated guanine at 5' terminal. It is called G-methyl cap. It protects the RNA molecule from ribonuclease enzyme. Following this G-methyl cap, there is some 20 to 50 extra bases forming the leader sequence. Messenger RNA, when binds the smaller subunit of ribosome, the leader sequence first becomes attached to ribosome. Likewise, at the posterior end, the eukaryotic messenger RNA contains polyadenylate chain. You all have studied it when RNA processing was discussed at the time of transcription. Now these are absent in prokaryotic messenger RNA, so the lives of prokaryotic messenger RNA is shorter, about 2 minutes, and the eukaryotic mRNA is longer, about 15 minutes. The middle part of the length of messenger RNA has coded sequence containing the triplet genetic codes. What does it mean? If in a polypeptide there are 100 amino acids, the length of RNA contains 300 bases forming the 100 codes for the amino acids. In addition, they have leader and polyadenylate chain. The first amino acid translated is always a methionine. In prokaryote, it is formilated methionine, but in eukaryote, it is normal methionine. Now see the structure of a messenger RNA. In the beginning, this part represents leader sequence. In this leader, this is methylated guanine forming the G-methyl cap. This methyl group makes it unable to form bond with any other amino acid. Now, after the leader, initiation codon AUG is present. That is, the first codon to be translated is AUG. In prokaryote, it will code for formyl methionine. But in eukaryote, it is normal methionine. Genetic codes, all other genetic codes follow this region called coding region. After that, there is termination sequence followed by polyadenylated chain. Now, what are the genetic codes? Genetic codes were deciphered by Nierenberg and later on by Khurana. Hawley, working on transfer RNA, confirmed the nature of codes by providing the anticodons in different transfer RNA. So Nierenberg, Hawley and Khurana, these three were awarded Nobel Prize for discovering the genetic code in 1968. This is the table showing all the 64 codes. After the nature of genetic code will be discussed, you are advised to see this table from your textbook and carefully read what are the codes of different amino acids, write names of the amino acid, and against them also write the codes. For example, in the first row, UUU and UUC both code for phenylalanine. UUA and UUG code for leucine. This leucine is coded by 4 other codons also. Similarly, in the second row, these 4 codes are for serine, and serine is also coded by two other codes. So, after studying the nature of genetic code, you must read this table twice and thrice. Triplet codon. George Gamow in 1950s suggested that the codes are made of three bases. Hence, these are called triplet codons. In this way, the number of codes would be 4q, that is 64. Degenerate codons. As there are only 20 amino acids and number of codes is 64, an average 3 codes must be there. As I have shown in the previous table, there are more than 1 codons, 2, 4 or 6 for many amino acids. This multiplicity is called degeneracy of codes. Now, universal codon. The genetic code as shown in the table is universal, that is true for prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes. Every code has a definite meaning, it cannot change. If there are some exceptions, these are in the mitochondrial gene, in some fungi and protozoa as well as in mammalian mammary glands. In normal languages, English or Hindi, in between two words, there is a space, there is a gap. But when genetic code is written, there is no extra base because the bond length between every base is same. So it is called comma-less codon. However, the codons are always read in a set of 3 letters. First 3 letters form one code, and then next 3 letters, 4th, 5th and 6th, form the second code. So the codons are non-overlapping. These are non-ambiguous codon. No code has two different meanings. So there is no ambiguity in understanding of the meaning in prokaryote and eukaryote. Ovule. The third letter of code is less important. It may be either of the two purine or any one of the two pyrimidine and sometimes any of the 4 bases. Because of this, same transfer RNA can read 2 codes or 4 codes at a time. It is why in any cell 25 to 30 transfer RNA were isolated by Holly. It is also known as Ovule hypothesis of Watson. Now, initiation codon. I have mentioned earlier, AU is the initiation codon, the first codon that is translated. In prokaryote, it forms formilated methionine, and in eukaryote, a normal methionine. Termination codons. Out of the 64 codons, 3 codons are nonsense, having no meaning. They do not code for any amino acid. These are UAA, UGA and UAG. But these are used as full stops or the termination codons. These are also named as ochre, opal and amber. These are 3 mutations reported in Drosophila. So, with this genetic code, you have come to know everything about the 3 types of RNA, the ribosomal RNA, transfer RNA and messenger RNA and their functions. In the next class, we shall study the exact mechanism of protein synthesis in which all these three types of RNA work together to form the polypeptide chain. Thank you very much.